Hi everyone, this week's Parsha is Parshat Chayei-Sarah. Now something very interesting that stuck out to me in this week's Parsha, throughout all the chronological events that happen, Sarah passes away at the beginning of the Parsha, Abraham purchases Marat Machpelah, right, the cave in which he buries Sarah in, and then Eliezer, Abraham's servant, goes out to find Rivka, Yitzchak's wife, and he finally brings Rivka back to Yitzchak. And the Torah has a very interesting line. It says that Yitzchak married Rivka and then loved her. And this stuck out to me. It caught me for a second. And I took a look at Rashi, and Rashi says what I was thinking, in which Yitzchak first married her, and then after a time, right, people, Mefarshim commentaries say that she resumed the duties that Sarah was doing of baking and candles, and then Yitzchak ended up loving her. The love was something that came after the marriage. So countercultural to most circles today, yet very fascinating in this week's Parsha, especially in relation to the other relationships of the Avos, of the other patriarchs. Specifically, right, Avram and Sarah kind of have this simultaneous mission together, right? They both go at it with complete clarity from the get-go, from the very start, which is also emblematic of the prayer service that's attributed to Abraham, right? Each of the Avos, each of the patriarchs have a prayer service that's attributed to them, and Abraham's is Shachris, the morning prayer. And this is pretty emblematic within all of their relationships too. So going back to Abraham's relationship, right? Abraham and Sarah have this clarity, this extreme clarity of connection with Hashem from the get-go, from the very beginning, just like most of us have in the morning when we wake up. What do? We get up like a lion and we go daven to Hashem, and that clarity is very apparent. Now, coming back to Yitzchak, right? With Yitzchak has the mincha service attributed to him, the afternoon service, and Chazal, the rabbis, the sages say that mincha is really the hardest tefillah, the hardest davening to do. Why? Because we're all working, we're caught up in the busiest part of our day, especially this time of year where it gets dark so early and you have to daven mincha literally in the middle of your day. And you have to take a break from everything for your deep commitment to Hashem to then go daven mincha, which is emblematic in the marriage between Yitzchak and Rivka in this week's Parsha, in which it's based on deep commitment to each other. And even if, right, just like mincha, even if your day isn't going well, even if it doesn't feel right, you have this commitment to Hashem, and the love comes after, right? Exactly with Yitzchak and Rivka. And lastly, with Yaakov is attributed the Mariv service, the nighttime service. And with him, the love actually comes before the marriage, right? He falls in love with Rachel before they get married. He ends up marrying Leah before Rachel, and then he marries the two maidservants also. And right, nighttime is kind of a time of confusion. There's also a lot going on by nighttime. And Chazal, the sages, interpret Mariv as they say as a reshus, which some people mean to be optional, which is not really the case. But the implication is that the nighttime service is more based on feeling and then commitment, right? It's a different vibe at night. And I think with all of these different connections between all of the patriarchs and their relationships with the matriarchs also relate very well to our relationship with Hashem at different parts of the day, right? Different parts of the day, which is represented by each of the different tefillot, Shachrit, Mincha, and Mariv, we have to come in with different mindsets when we go into each one. So my bracha to everyone this week is that we could really take a lesson from the strong commitment that Yitzchak had toward his relationship and making it work, which he did very well, I'd say, and that we should all take that and be able to apply that logic from Abraham and his relationship with Sarah and Yitzchak and Rivka and Yaakov and Rachel to all of our tefillah throughout the day. And with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.